The neoclassical theory tried to overcome the drawbacks of classical organizational theory, and also it introduced the concepts such as informal organization and human behavior approach in the studies of organizational functioning. So let's understand what do we mean by neoclassical management theory and what are the other theories that contribute to neoclassical management theory. Let's have the quick view on the topics that we are going to cover in this lecture series. So we'll begin with neoclassical management theory introduction and also the differences between the classical management theory and neoclassical management theory. Then we are going to start with the approaches under the neoclassical management theory. We are going to cover two approaches. One is HR approach and another is behavioral science approach. My favorite, we are going to study the Elton Mayo, a very famous psychologist who conducted Hawthorne experiments, very famous experiments again, and followed by contributions in Elton Mayo. Like we are going to talk about the who was he, what he did, and what are his contributions. Again, in behavioral science approach, we are going to cover three psychologists, scientists, behavioral scientists. For example, Abraham Maslow, who gave the theory of Maslow's need hierarchy theory. He is very famous. Second, we will cover Douglas McGregor theory, theory X, theory Y, which is very known in leadership. Then the third one we are going to cover is Frederick Herzberg theory, which who gave two-factor theory. So the contributions of the after that the contributions of the behavioral science approach, followed by the contributions made by combined like HR plus behavioral science approach. What are the contribution made by neoclassical management theory? Followed by references, in which I am going to share the details of the references I have used for making this lecture. You can take a screenshot of that slide and also use that those references for your future. If you want to explore like more on these topics, that is going to be very helpful for you. So let's begin. Neoclassical management theory. It is the extensive version of the classical theory that includes behavioral science in the business management. It was developed to address the shortcomings of the classical theory. Like every theory has some shortcomings. So firstly we are talking about it's the extensive version of the classical theory, and also it addresses the shortcomings of the classical theory which did not fully achieve the production efficiency or workplace harmony. It also shifted the focus to the human side of the organization, which was overlooked when we talk about the classical approach or classical theory. The approach emphasized the importance of psychological and social factors as well as the relationships within the group. The theory gained momentum through Elton Mayo's Hawthorne experiments, which were conducted at Western Electric Company, Chicago, which also stressed the role of human relations in enhancing productivity. So overall in this theory, the organization is the social system and its performance is affected by human efforts. So as compared to the classical theory where we talked about the centralization, work standardization and productivity efficiency, this approach talks about the human side of the work. So now let's talk about what were the differences between classical management theory and neoclassical management theory. Let's begin with focus. So when we talk about classical management theory, it focused on efficiency and organizational structure. On the other hand, neoclassical theory talks about human factors and employee well-being at the most. Now, it also emphasizes, the classical management theory also emphasizes the task specialization, standardization of work and also hierarchical control. While on the other hand, neoclassical management theory emphasizes on the social relationships at workplace, employee motivation and workplace dynamics. The second point is core principles. So let's talk about classical management theory first. In classical management theories, there were principles, for example, scientific management, which talked about optimizing work processes through systematic studies given by Frederick Taylor. Then we talk about, in classical theory, administrative management, which was given by Henry Fayol. It talked about organizing and managing processes with defined principles. Then we also talked about the bureaucratic management, SAB. That are the parts of classical management theory. S stands for scientific management, A stands for administrative management, and B stands for bureaucratic management. Bureaucratic management theory was given by Max Weber, and he established a formal structure and clear rules. Now let's talk about the contributions or the core principles of neoclassical management theory. First, it talked about the human relations. For example, the impact of social interaction and employee satisfaction on productivity was measured or identified for the first time by Elton Mayo. The second was motivational theories were also the part of the neoclassical management theory, which talked about psychological needs to enhance the performance at the workplace, given by Maslow and Herzberg. Then we talked about leadership and participation. It talked about promoting participative management and recognizing employee contribution, given by McGregor. Also by McGregor, theory X and theory Y was given. Then let's talk about the view of workers. So in classical management theory, workers were viewed as the primary economic beings, while in neoclassical management theory, workers were viewed as the psychological beings. In classical management theory, performance is driven by mainly financial incentives, while in neoclassical management theory, needs include belonging, recognition and job satisfaction. When view of workers, the third point is it focused on the mechanistic roles and task efficiency, while the neoclassical management theory talked about emphasis on employee well-being and motivational factors. Now let's talk about the management approach, which is the fourth point. In classical management theory, we talked about top-down approach, means the centralized decision making with strict control was in function, and also emphasis were on formal rule, procedures and organizational discipline. While in HR approach or neoclassical management theory, the participation was appreciated. As a result of that, participative, inclusive decision making and supportive work environment were discussed or emphasized, and the focus was on improving interpersonal relationships and enhancing job satisfaction. So these were the key differences between the classical and the neoclassical management theory. Again, I would like to stress upon the fact that neoclassical theory is the extension of classical theory only, and it addresses the shortcomings of classical management theory. In neoclassical approach, there are two parts. One is human relations approach and another is behavioral science approach. Human relations approach was pioneered by Elton Mayo, who conducted Hawthorne experiments at Chicago in Western Electric Company. Then in behavioral science approach, we talk about Abraham Maslow, who gave the basic theory of motivation, which is also called Maslow's need hierarchy theory, in which we have a pyramid. We are going to discuss all of them in the upcoming slides. Then we talk about McGregor's theory of X and theory of Y, theory X and theory Y of motivation. And in behavioral science approach, the third thinker comes in, Frederick Herzberg, who gave this two-factor theory, satisfiers and dissatisfiers. So we are going to study all four theories in the upcoming slides. Now let's talk about the human relations approach, which is the first approach in neoclassical theory. This approach was pioneered by Elton Mayo through the Hawthorne studies conducted between 1924 to 1932 at Western Electric Company, Chicago. Elton Mayo was an Australian psychologist and a key figure in the human relations movement. His Hawthorne studies highlighted the importance of social as well as the psychological factors in the workplace, emphasizing that employees' satisfaction, well-being, and the group dynamics significantly influence productivity. Also, Mayo's work shifted the management focus from strictly efficiency to human-centered approaches, which make him a pioneer in modern organizational behavior. Hawthorne experiments were conducted at Western Electric in Chicago, Illinois. Western Electric in Chicago, Illinois. There were 4 experiments. I am going to give you the brief outcomes of all the experiments. Let's begin with illumination experiments. In this experiment, the impact of light was measured on productivity, and as a result, it was found that increased light causes improved productivity. Increased light improved productivity, but to our surprise, that light was not only the solely the predictor of productivity, but also the employees were knowing that they are being observed by someone. That's why also the productivity increased. This phenomena was known as Hawthorne effect. Means employees, when people know that they are being observed by someone, they tend to enhance or increase the productivity, or they try to work more effectively and efficiently as compared to the other times, because we all want to be liked and appreciated. Okay. The second one is relay assembly test room. The relay assembly test room had some different findings. For example, in this also productivity improved when workers were given proper rest breaks and more supportive and social environment. So there were 2 factors which were responsible for productivity in relay assembly test room. One, rest breaks, and second, supportive social environment. The third experiment was mass interviewing room, where a lot of people were being interviewed, like workers were interviewed. As a result, it was found that workers felt more valued when they were given opportunities to express their opinions, leading to higher job satisfaction. So when workers were given, like workers felt valued while giving opinions, so it increased their job satisfaction. The last experiment was known as bank wiring observation room, and as a result, it was found that social dynamics and informal group norms significantly influence worker behavior and productivity beyond just economic incentives. Like in classical theory, it was being said that the workers are financial beings. They are driven by monetary rewards. But in a human relations approach, it has been challenged and said that people have their social dynamics and informal groups norms, and which significantly improve work behavior and productivity beyond just economic incentive. Even if you are paying high, there is no guarantee that people are going to work more productively. So these are the 4 key experiments which are known as Hawthorne experiment. These are the findings. This is the Hawthorne plant, you can see, and these are the This is the relay assembly test room, and this is bank wiring observation room. Like these are the various pictures of the various experiments conducted at Western Electric Company. Now let's talk about what are the contributions of human relations approach. Primarily it has three contributions. Number one, social and psychological factors. So workers' productivity is influenced by their social interactions, their feelings, and their sense of belonging. Sense of belonging. I'm just writing the short form. Means social interactions, their feelings, and their sense of belongingness in the organization. The second factor is informal groups or informal work groups. So it says that informal social structures within the workplace significantly impact productivity. The third finding was employee satisfaction. Employee satisfaction, employees are more motivated by not just by the financial incentives but also by their emotional and social needs satisfaction. So we are talking about emotional and social needs satisfaction, which is causing the more motivation among the employees. Then we are talking about social interaction, feelings and sense of belongingness at the workplace if you want higher productivity among your workers. And also social structures, informal social structures in the workplace can significantly impact the productivity of the workers. So this was about human relations approach. This is the second approach in neoclassical theory, which is called behavioral science approach. This approach focuses on the application of psychology, sociology and other behavioral sciences to understand human behavior. In this, we are going to study theories given by Abraham Maslow, Maslow's need hierarchy theory, then Douglas McGregor's theory of X and Y, and Frederick Herzberg's theory of two factors motivation theory. So let's begin with Maslow's need hierarchy theory. As a humanist, Maslow always believed that people have always an inborn desire to be self-actualized. To achieve this ultimate goal, however, a number of more basic needs must be met. These include food, safety, love, and self-esteem. So let's begin this theory with the introduction. Abraham Maslow was the person who first introduced the concept of hierarchy of needs in 1943 paper, A Theory of Human Motivation, and again in his subsequent book called Motivation and Personality. The hierarchy given by him or proposed by him suggests that people are motivated to fulfill basic needs before moving to other more advanced needs. Why it is important? Because in common perspective, it says managers should address these needs to enhance employee motivation. So a management must know this theory and application of this theory at the workplace premises to increase the motivation among employees. So let's study the Maslow's need hierarchy. As according to Maslow, we have 5 categories of needs: physiological, safety, love, esteem and self-actualization. So this is the pyramid and you can see here, like the first need is physiological need. Sometimes students get confused that they read it psychological need, but it is not psychological need, it is physiological needs. So it includes basic survival needs like food, water, air and shelter. Food, water, air and shelter. Then comes your safety needs. It includes security, stability and safety means they are triple S: security, stability and safety from harm, and also financial security. Financial security. Then the third level is love and belongingness. When this safety need is also satisfied, the person has priority for social connections, relationships and sense of belongingness. When this need is also satisfied, the person moves to the esteem needs, which includes respect, self-esteem, recognition and achievement. The last level in this hierarchy needs is the last level is self-actualization, which talks about personal growth, self-fulfillment and realizing one's full potential. So in this theory, higher needs in the hierarchy emerge when people feel they are satisfied with the previous need. Means when this need is satisfied, this need would be the primary importance. Then we'll move to this. Then we'll move to this. So the satisfaction of the lower order need is very important to move to the next level. However, the later research does not support all the Maslow's hierarchy theory. For example, a person who is satisfying the physiological need, he is getting good food for survival, air and like he is living, and after that he can go to the self-actualization level. There is no compulsion that he has to go through this chain. For example, safety need, love and belongingness need and esteem needs. So this is Maslow. So let's talk about the second theory given by Douglas McGregor, who was an American social psychologist and the management theories. He studied PhD, or he earned his PhD from Harvard University and worked extensively in the fields of management and OB. He developed theory X and theory Y in 1960s to describe two contrasting views of human behavior in workplace influencing management styles. So he said there are two types of people or personality. One is I like work, who's those people who like work, and another is who dislike work. So let's study more about this theory in the upcoming slide. So let's talk about the assumptions of theory X, in which authoritarian management style is used. It says that it is based on the assumption that employees are inherently lazy, they dislike work, and also they avoid work if they can. So they are lazy, they don't like work, and they will avoid it if they can. Then the second assumption is employees need to be closely supervised and controlled through strict rules and regulations. The next assumption would be workers are motivated primarily by financial incentives or rewards, and also punishments. Means like they have the fear of losing job. Management believes that there has to be a direction to achieve they have to be given the direction to achieve the organizational goals. Means because employees cannot work on their own, so they should be given the proper directions by the management to achieve the organizational goal. So in this scenario, when employees are like this, managers often adopt a top down authoritarian style focusing on control and discipline. So this is all about theory X, in which authoritarian management style is adapted. The second theory of McGregor is theory Y, which is based on the assumption that employees are, wait, my pen is not working. Employees are primarily self-motivated, they enjoy work, and they find it a source of personal satisfaction. So when they work, they feel happy. The second assumption is that workers are capable of taking challenges. They are capable of self-direction and also self-control when committed to some objective. The third assumption is that employees seek responsibility and are creative and can solve if they are given an opportunity. Can solve problems if given an opportunity to solve them. Okay, so their motivation comes from recognition, achievement, and also opportunities for career growth. Recognition, achievement, and career growth or personal growth. So when employees are like this, managers can adopt theory Y. When employees are like self-motivated, they enjoy work, they find it a source of personal satisfaction, they are self-directed, they have self-control as well, and they can take the responsibility also and can face the challenges on their own. So in this situation, the managers can adapt participative leadership. Participative leadership fostering collaboration, trust, and also empowerment. So see, like both the theories are just opposite to each other. In theory X, we talked about the control, and in theory Y, we talked about the liberty, because the nature of employees are different. Now let's talk about the next theory, which is Herzberg two-factor theory. This theory is also known as motivation hygiene theory. It was developed in 1950s by Herzberg. Herzberg distinguished between hygiene factors like pay and working conditions that prevent dissatisfaction and motivators like recognition, achievement that actually drive employee satisfaction and performance. So let's study this theory in detail in the upcoming. So let's talk about the motivation hygiene theory's two factors in details. For example, you can on the screen you can see two factors, motivators as well as hygiene factors. If we talk about motivators, the first category is achievement, where we are talking about success in the completing tasks and reaching goals. Success in the completing tasks and reaching goals. The second category could be recognition. For example, being acknowledged and praised for good work, praised. And the third is work itself, means the meaningfulness, the variety, the challenge you enjoy in work. Then comes your responsibility, means autonomy plus control over the task. Then advancement means opportunities for the career growth plus promotion. Then last is personal growth, where we are talking about learning and development opportunities. So these are the motivators, are also called intrinsic factors and also called job content factors, means they are within the job content factors. These are called job context factors. These are the job context factors, and these are job content factors. So now context factors, hygiene factors, extrinsic factors, all three are same. So if in exams any question comes with any name, don't get confused with the names. So the first hygiene factor is company policies. For example, fair and clean rules and procedures within the organization. The second one is supervision, in which we can say the supportive and competent managers, means bosses. Then comes the salary. Often people misunderstand salary as a form of motivating factor, but it is not. Means it includes fair and adequate pay. Then comes your interpersonal relations, where we can talk about the positive relationships with the colleagues and supervisors. Then let's talk about the last factors, which is working condition, means comfortable and safe and conducive physical work environment. So what is more important in understanding this theory is these factors, the hygiene factors, if they are present, they are going to reduce the dissatisfaction. But if they are absent, they are going to increase the dissatisfaction. If they are more in the job or the workplace, they are going to increase the dissatisfaction in the job or the workplace. On the other side, when these factors are present, they are going to motivate. Means presence of these factors is not going to motivate the employee, but absence of these factors, hygiene factors, can dissatisfy the employee. But these factors are important for motivation, because they are going to play a major role in the enhanced productivity and overall performance. So this is how motivators are different from the hygiene factors. I repeat once again, the presence of hygiene factor is not going to motivate the employee, but absence of hygiene factor satisfaction is going to dissatisfy the employee. So this was all about hygiene factors. So let's talk about what are the contributions of behavioral science approach. In this we can say behavioral science approach is the second approach in the neoclassical theory. The first approach we studied was human relations approach, where we talked about Elton Mayo's Hawthorne experiments. And in behavioral science we talked about Maslow's need hierarchy theory, we talked about McGregor's theory X, theory Y, and also Herzberg's two-factor theory. So the first thing is, first contribution is it provides insights into how employee motivation and satisfaction affect productivity. Number two, it encourages participative management, for example, for better communication between workers and management. Then number three, it applies scientific method to analyze and improve organizational behavior and also leadership practices. Number four, overall the behavioral science approach helps managers create work environments that enhance both individual as well as group performance better. So this was all about the neoclassical approach, which included human relations approach and behavioral science approach. Now let's talk about what are the contributions of neoclassical approach. The first contribution of this approach is it studies the importance of human and social factors in the workplace addressing the limitations of the classical approach. As we talked about in the previous slide also, this is the extension of classical theory and also addresses the shortcomings of classical theory. Then it focused on employee motivation, well-being and interpersonal relationships as critical components of organization success. Before this theory, these factors were ignored. Now, this theory also encouraged participative management for the first time and also leadership styles that foster communication, teamwork and also employee involvement at workplace. This is the list of references that I have used for making this lecture for you. You can take a screenshot and study more about this topic using these references. Thank you for watching.